What's up, people? Welcome to this Shelfside Spurs show edition of We Are Tottenham TV. How about that? How about that? Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 4. Another battering dished out to an opposition. We're riding high, 57 points, up into fourth. We need to lose now for other teams to catch us. If we continue winning, fourth place is ours. So we're going to be finding out how you're feeling, and we've got our first guest already.
Really?
We do.
Before we get that, guys, Tottenham get battered everywhere we go now.
Apparently so. apparently we do.
Okay.
We get battered 4-0? No, that doesn't work.
No.
Excellent stuff. So come on, let's hear from you guys. Let's bring our first one up. And this guy's a bit of a sleeping legend.
A living legend.
A living
I hope
legend.
he's not sleeping when he comes on in a minute.
No, but he's sort of like one of those, he sort of crawls up on you, his legendariness. It's Ryan. Ryan is with us. Welcome, Ryan. How you doing, my man?
Oh, I'm buzzing. Buzzing. Arsenal lose, Tottenham win, 4-0, Son hat-trick. Crucially, Conte's team talk. That was clearly the game changer.
Fantastic stuff. Did you see? I mean, I thought I saw a difference in application in the way they went about the game at halftime. Do you think it was that? Do you think it was a case of Conte not necessarily giving them a hair dryer or anything like that, but sitting them down and saying, "Look, you guys are better."
Just a wake-up call. That's all it was. It was like you kick up the arse. You know how you need that. You know, like from your old man. You know, you can do better than that. It's not like you're throwing punches, you're throwing boots around. It's just like, go out there and show us what the real Spurs is. And that's exactly what happened. We were sensational, or sensational, you could say.
Sensational. Love it, Ryan. Love it.
So, first half, what did you see? What did you see in that first half? I mean, what was there, other than the goal, was there anything else positive for you?
Yes. The fact, past seasons, past years, how often does a Spurs side fold? You know, they crumble under the pressure constantly. You know, 2-1, 3-1 down, we were like, oh, game over. We stuck to it. Lloris, sensational in goal. Romero, Dyer led that back line. We were compact still, and we saw it out to half-time. We didn't concede a sloppy goal right before half-time. We were defensively strong, and we kept them at bay, which led to the right team talk that needed at half-time. Instead of going in 1-1 or 2-1 down or worse, it was like, we're winning this game, crucially, defensively solid, and we could just go, Son, Kane, Kulu, it's your time to shine.
Amazing stuff. Amazing. That second half had shades of the Newcastle game as well. Do you have, not concerns per se, but do you think that that's something that's creeping in, or is it just happened? It's just coincidence that the first half we don't seem to be quite as clinical as we are in the second half, or is that it's just two games? We can't really read too much into it.
No, it's actually something that's crept in. It's actually been happening a lot the whole season, even under Nuno. Everything, you know, I think if you look at our stats, most of our goals are in the second half. We seem to not start games quick enough on the front foot. I mean, I know we did today for 3 minutes, but it's about putting a 45-minute spell in that first half together where you can kill the game off rather than have us on bricks for 45 minutes thinking, oh my God, are we going to lose this? Because second half, like, look, it was a faultless second half performance. That Kane flicked header on Son is just outrageous. Kulu again is unbelievable. He's a magician. Romero at the back is amazing. Look, we're building something here, and it's all on whether that there was a Facebook post about and saying how happy, you know, it was emotions in terms of like where you are with Spurs. The manager I'm so happy with, the players I'm incredibly proud of, but I'm still upset with the board because we don't know what's going to happen. It's all going to be on this summer because we can create something very special. We can honestly create something special because we've got the ingredients now. We just need to sprinkle stardust.
Ryan, were you surprised with both Doherty and Emerson starting? Did you think that Reggie or Cess would have started and Doherty come on the right, or how did you view that?
I was, but in Conte we trust. Don't change a winning team. You know, it's a week's break. You wouldn't change it unless an injury has happened. Doherty's now got injured, so Reguilon will have his place back for the foreseeable future. And that's the thing. That's what happens when you're playing one game a week. You don't have to change it too much. You know, You don't need to make 3 or 4 changes or even one. You can just keep the same sides. What you do tend to see a lot is you keep the spine the same and you can rotate around it when you need to. But a little bit surprised, but not massively to see the same 11.
In terms of Aston Villa, were you surprised that Villa were allowed to field a team of 12 men? And especially one of them not wearing their strip but wearing black. Did that surprise you?
A little bit. Because it was a good performance by Villa that first half with 12 men. They couldn't break us down. Even so, it was just an overall good performance. I mean, the ref, look, it wasn't his best game. Young should have been sent off. That's the only big decision I think he got wrong. The Cash tackle, I think, or was it Target Cash? I think it was.
It's Cash, yeah.
Yeah, Cash tackle on Doherty. Look, it's one of them. I saw the replay. He's got the ball and he's completely taken out the man. I know nowadays people will say, you know, it's still a foul. Yeah, but it's a good, honest, 50-50 strong tackle. It probably was a foul and a yellow nowadays, but nothing more. What people are saying red online or whatever, it wasn't that bad of a tackle. It's just one of those things that happen in football. It's a physical game. But Ashley Young has to be sent off. That is a very cynical, dangerous tackle. And that is how players pick up bad injuries.
Agreed. What about the next game, Ryan? Brighton, the conquerors of Arsenal. Do you think that we're going to be able to show them how a North London team is supposed to deal with Brighton next week?
It's funny because whenever, you know, we play sides that have just played Arsenal, and generally the other sides roll over for Arsenal, and they come and play their best football against us. And they get a point or they win the game. I'm hoping it's going to be the opposite way around. Look, I do think Brighton, look, they always try and play good football. We know what Graham Potter's going to do. I'll be surprised if he comes and tries to put 10 men behind the ball, 2 banks of 5, and play for a 0-0. They will come and play. They've got nothing to play for. They're safe. They're not going to challenge for Europe. It's one of them games where halfway in the season, you can see it as a potential banana skin. It's banana skin now, but less so. It's something that in the form we're in, we shouldn't be slipping over. We should be going in there, same mentality. Look, we're better than you. We should come here, take the 3 points and move on to the game after. But that's not how football works. Football is a fun game. It's full of surprises, and that's why we love the beautiful game.
Superb. And ultimately, there's just one question.
Yeah, one question, Ryan. Top 4, yes or no?
Yes. You've changed my
Yes, love it, Ryan. Love it.
Right now, I can tell you right now, top 4 is, in my mind, is secured.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Love it.
My answer. But I'm saying right now, in front of the world, top 4 is done. We are finishing 4th minimum.
Unequivocal. I love it.
Brilliant.
Fantastic,
right,
Ryan. Thanks
for
very much,
calling
mate.
in. Come on, you Spurs, and we'll see you soon.
So, the first poll, if you like.
Yep.
An unequivocal, yes, indeed, we are getting top 4. So the belief seems to be spreading.
Yep.
We're again honoured with another fantastic guest next.
He was in the chat earlier. He was listening to our commentary over the football, the Sky Sports football commentary.
I think he was tolerating our commentary.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think he was being polite. So
Yeah,
welcome, George.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Very well. How are you, sir?
Yeah, great commentary. Absolutely loved it.
That's very kind of you to
Well,
say.
the check's in the post, George. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like listening to you two was like having a couple of mates in the room at the same time as actually watching the game without having a couple of, So I saved on the beer. I saved on the nuts, the crisps, everything.
Yeah, you didn't have to clear up. Nothing. It was just sort of...
Didn't have to kick us out because we got too drunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't spill red wine on your carpet.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the neighbours weren't knocking on the wall either. So
God.
So an enjoyable afternoon all round, George.
Yeah,
how did you see the match?
Yeah, it's been a great day. I mean, I literally for the first time in ages, I sat down from the morning and started watching the football all the way through to the Spurs game. And I have to say that the officiating today just seems to, each game that we seem to have just seems to get worse and worse and worse. And that officiating today was absolutely diabolical. What Villa were allowed to get on, and it was so obvious that Gerrard basically told them to go out and just rip us to pieces to try and disrupt the pattern of our game, because he knew that they couldn't compete ultimately with what he had seen over the last few weeks. And the ref should have seen that. I mean, it was so cynical. It was unbelievable, and the ref just let them get away with it. And the best response is what we did to them. To batter them 4-0 is the best response, and I hope they've gone into that changing room with their tail in their legs, between their legs. I really do.
Excellent. I agree. I wasn't. I mean, we were saying it in the time, but it just, a ref having a bad game, you can sort of understand, but not just when it comes to Spurs games, but the level of officiating in English football seems to be leaving a lot to be desired these days. George, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I saw it last week with the Newcastle game. The ref let so much slide to the point where then ultimately there was a melee, and Bentancur ends up getting a yellow card for no real reason other than the fact that we've got to start standing up for ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was obvious today. I mean, Harry left his foot in and ended up getting a yellow. At some point you've got to stand up for yourself. What I was most impressed with was Kuti, how he kept his cool and how he has kept his cool over the last 3-4 matches, not getting a yellow card. He's been up, for me, he's been the man of the match today. He was, I think, last week as well. He has become just an immense player for us. Thoroughly impressed. He just seems to be getting better and better. I can't wait to see what heights he's going to reach. I just hope we manage to keep hold of him. He's just absolutely superb today.
Fullbacks or wingbacks. Obviously, we saw Doherty come off injured. Reggie back in the starting lineup. Were you surprised that Conte decided to go with the sort of selection that he had last week, given that essentially both of his left wing backs were available?
Not really. I thought that they both performed well. I kind of have a bit of a difference of opinion with you on that, Rez, with regard to Emerson. I think he's, he is starting now to grow into this role. I actually think he had quite a decent game today. I mean, considering what they threw at him, and you're absolutely right, most of the stuff was targeting him. And the amount of balls that he had to deal with over the afternoon were difficult. It was a difficult situation, but I think he handled himself properly. Again, he gave as good as he got. He took a man out, I think, towards the end of the game, on about 70-75.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that in the players. Exactly the same with Doherty. When they get really their confidence is at a low, they're getting a bit of hassle from the fans, but they're able to get that composure to grow, and I think they both are. And so I thought Doc had a really good game last week, so I wasn't surprised that he got played in, and they kept the formation the same.
Okay.
I was quite happy with it.
And I mean, do you see Emerson staying? Because the rumours are that Atletico Madrid are interested. Would you see him staying? Would you want him to stay?
Look, you can only improve on your squad where it's required. I think that Conte will want to improve on both the wing-back positions. And look, it's the way of any progressive football club that you should do that. So I'm not going to get precious over players. I hope he does go on to do well, because, like I said, it's the quality I like in a player, the sort of coming back from adversity. I have a feeling Conte will, unless they really, he does the unexpected and becomes a phenomenal wing back. I mean, it's in the realms of possibility. I've seen worse players than him come on and really improve. But I think that's the measure of the manager as well. We've got a diamond in Conte, and I think it's pivotal to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club to keep him and keep him happy. So if he wants to replace them, then Daniel Levy, put your hand in your pocket and give him what you want.
Absolutely. Midfield I mean, we talked about the defence. I think our midfield, I mean, obviously, games are won and lost in midfield, and we did win the game. But did you see, I mean, my feeling was that our central midfield pairing were not as good as they've been recently. How did you see Højbjerg and Bentancur's performance today?
What happened in the first half, what I saw was a rattled Tottenham side. They were rattled with the physicality of the game, and that left Coutinho with way too much time on the ball. The centre of midfield, Bentancur and Højbjerg was, I think, managing things a little bit better than Bentancur. I think he struggled to try and get the ball in the positions that he would have liked them in order to progress the game, simply because our passing became very wayward. I think the early exit of Doherty and just simply the physicality of the game, I think rattled us. And like Ryan, I think that whatever Conte masterminded in the dressing room at half time, whatever he said to them, did the trick, because they came out, they played their game, they held their shape, and when it was needed, they left the foot in when it was required. So it's, yes, I think that in the first half we were definitely losing that midfield battle, but I think in the second half, I mean, Harry kept that slightly deep position to help out there, and unfortunately for him and his golden boot potential, I think he's giving that up in order to maintain that slightly creative role at the moment. I think it's I think that's definitely advice coming from Conte, and I mean, it worked when Mourinho was was there as well, but at that point we didn't have Kulu and we didn't have Bentancur. But yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot to still be done in respect of recruitment into this squad, and definitely a creative midfielder is something that's required just to give it more scope to our play.
It's been going around the sort of fan base for the last sort of week or so. So I'm going to ask the question: is Eriksen that player?
Yeah, I'm going to be a bit unpopular here, and I'm going to say, unfortunately, not. I've not on any other basis than the fact that it was his choice to leave Tottenham, and if you've got a partner who decides to get up and leave, I think you don't jump back into bed with your ex. It's just something that doesn't work often. it can do, but more often than not, I don't think it it's, again, I think that there would be a touch of nostalgia. I don't think that would be being done for the right reasons. And as I said, it rarely works. I mean, I've only got to see Baku and his, and what happened with him since he's gone back to Chelsea. And no circumstances are always the same, but I would rather they looked elsewhere and not. I would rather Eriksen be admired at the moment from afar by us as opposed to being reintroduced.
Okay, cool. George, final question then. Top 4, yes or no?
This is a tough one.
Do we start believing? We need to start believing. I mean, I'm believing. I'm a believer. But what do you think?
I'm going to be quietly hopeful. I did always, every time Ben asked me this question, or Sim, I always said, look, it's going to depend on a capitulation from Arsenal and Man United, and that's what's got us really to where we are. They don't lose their games. The positions stay the same even if we keep winning.
Yeah.
So it's I'll change it slightly. What I'll say is that as long as we don't capitulate, yes, I do think we can make top 4.
Brilliant. George, well, you're obviously glad we haven't come round and trashed your house. And it's a pleasure to have you on as always. And thank you very much.
What time are you guys finishing?
Once we've got through all the wonderful people such as yourself, George.
Well, I'll speak to the missus. How's that? And maybe...
That would be very much appreciated. No, we appreciate your time, George. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Great to speak to you, as always.
And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Take care, mate.
Wowzers. So George felt like we were there and he wants us there. So
yes.
I don't think that's really wise, if I'm honest.
I think that counts as 2 out of 2. I would say 2 out of 2 so far. So
cool.
we've got 100% at the moment. And we're coming up. We're coming on to our next guest. It's Wes the King.
Welcome, Wes.
Welcome, Wes. How are you, sir? How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Fantastic. And did you watch the match?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And how many times did you bounce off the ceiling?
I'll say I'm going from the second goal to the fourth goal.
What happened in the first goal? Did you miss it or what?
Oh no, I didn't miss it. I saw the whole game, but that first goal, of course, was amazing. That kind of curl shot hit the bar and went across inside a goal from Son. It just shows you Son is on a tear, and Kane, he's allowing Son to pretty much, kind of take over. He's being more of the passer while Son is more of the aggressor with the goals taken. But I feel like Kane's gonna get his goals too in the coming games as well. I don't think it's just gonna be assist. But the fact that I think Kane understands that if he can get this team to top 4 or get us to top 4, he can stay here. Hopefully the board will give Conte money. Conte will stay, leads us to doing and hopefully winning things next year. That's the end goal that I'm sure he wants. I'm sure he want to do it with the club he's been with for the last over a decade almost.
So, Wes, let me ask you this. So, Kane is currently on 12 goals for the season. Sonny has had his best season for Spurs with 17. I believe, is it 17 or 18?
Yeah,
18 now with that.
18. Okay.
18 with the hat-trick. Yeah, 18.
Wow.
So he's 2 behind Mohamed Salah. If I was to ask you this, if you had to say which player you thought was more likely to be Golden Boot winner, would you pick Kane or would you pick Son?
With the way it's going right now, with Kane dropping a little bit more into the kind of like a playmaker cam central role almost, but also still being an option, pretty much playing center forward almost. I think it's going to probably be Son. He's just bagging up goals every game now for us. And a lot of people, I know he had a bit run of form where he wasn't doing much, but he would still get a goal in those games. A lot of people don't remember that. Yes, he have a bad game technical wise, but he'll get a goal and put us back into the game. Each one of those games he didn't play to his probably best that we know. But I think it's going to probably right now is clearly going is Son that's looking more likely. I think Kane's going to back a couple more. He's sure to. You can never doubt Harry Kane from scoring goals.
Of course.
But I think right now, I think to help the team and help us stay in this place to get a Champions League spot, I think he's doing what's necessary. And and I'm sure he wants to get the Golden Boot. What striker doesn't? But I think he understands the end goal. And the end goal is for us to be set up in the summer by making Champions League, or giving Conte money, Conte staying, being ready for next year so we can win things. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what he wants.
So to sort of extend the question, let's say it's Sonny, do you think he will win the Golden Boot this season? Given that Salah hasn't scored in 6 games, 7 games, something like that. He's been dry for a while. Do you think Son will get the Golden Boot?
If going off of form, it's right now to me, Son. Son has been the most consistent scorer, I say, on Spurs and probably in the Premier League. He's been scoring pretty much every game almost, it feels like. So you
7
can't
in
really,
his 9 in his last 7 now.
Yeah. So, I can't doubt him. I hope he does. Hey, that just adds to him. He's the best South Korean product that ever came out. He's he's the best Asian player probably out right now. He's one of the world-class players. A lot of people kind of put him under Kane, but to me, both of them are world-class players. They're like top 15, top 10 in the world right now, And I think a lot of people are sleeping.
And if we look at, if we look at the records that Kane's broken, we look at the records that between them they've broken in a team that has not won anything. Does that make it even more special? The relationship that they both have?
Yeah, because to me, I think they're the most dynamic duo in football right now. They're the most dynamic duo in football. A lot of people say Mane and Salah with them, but they have been able to win things over there in Liverpool. But to me, I think you're talking about scoring and just impact on the team and on the game. It's Son and Kane. They link up almost every game. It's crazy how, look at that pass Kane did. He knew that Son was going to run in the middle, so he just dinked it over with the head. Boom.
True.
Son's gone. Boom. That's a goal. That's a goal every single time. They know each other. They just know each other like the back of a hand. It's the most dynamic duo to me in football right now. And all they need now, they just need the trophies to show for it. And hopefully in the coming season, next season, I think we can probably do it if as long as we make top 4 this year and Conte gets what he wants during the summer.
Okay, where's
one question, one thing. Do you think that duo is becoming a trio with a certain Kulusevski?
Oh yes. I mean, that kid right there. That's probably the best deal we're Premier. Like, I'm sure Juventus wish they didn't set it at 35. I'm sure. And then the fact that Juventus fans are saying, "Oh, they're rejects." Wow, that's some reject.
Send us some more. Send us some more rejects.
Yeah, send us more. Send us Dybala.
Absolutely.
We need Dybala. So yeah, send us more rejects, I guess. But man, that's a baller. He's going to be one of the best players in the Premier League and hopefully the world. He's only 21. Doing what he's doing, that left foot of his, and then he can also do it with his right foot. The passing he does with his right foot is underrated right now. A lot of people don't. Like, I think last game he got an assist from his throwing it from his right foot.
Yeah, that right foot cross to Sonny.
Yeah. I mean that is like we got one finally. We did good. That for January transfers, this has to be one of the best. Getting big score, and I understand it was late. It was very Spursy way. Getting them late, but the 2 players who did get, oh my gosh, man, we got some players. I know Ben Curry didn't have the best game today, but to me, second half, come on, he did what he's supposed to do. He came back into it. He got back into the flow of it. I'm sure sooner or later he's going to probably get a goal or 2. I can feel that too. He gets in positions where he could possibly do it. He doesn't do it quick enough sometimes. But he been doing it for his national team. Been scoring goals. So I'm sure that's going to rain over to Spurs soon. But man, Kulu, yeah, I think he's definitely going to be one of those like top. He's going to be that trio that we really need, and I think we finally found him. Only thing I'm not have a problem with is just our wing backs. Off the wing backs. The wing backs don't play good. You see the team starts faltering.
Yeah.
And throughout the game, I don't know if you noticed, but Romero did not dare pass the ball to Royale. He was literally avoiding him the whole game. I even put in a comment during the it's clear as day. Royale's just not on this level. He needs to, he he done had a try here. I don't think Conte really fancies him. Only reason he's using him is because he's running the only right wing backs we have, and I don't think he believes that Session or anybody can do reverse and play on the right side. You know, but I think we're gonna have to probably let him go to some other team, loan him something. But he's clearly, and plus it's already been rumored that we're looking for another right wing back. That's clear as day. You know, I think one of them is going to clearly be where y'all got to go. Every time he catches the ball, he doesn't do anything with it, passes back. You see that Højbjerg was kind of frustrated with them. If they do pass the ball, it's always, they make sure it's a safe pass. I don't know if you noticed, they take their time passing the ball to Real. Like, because they know he can't control most of his passes. He has to have like a very clear pass. He has to have clear options. He cannot work under pressure, which is, you know, that's why you see a lot of the breaks from Aston Villa today is from that left side, from their perspective. You know, he's a liability. He's a liability out there. He's not, once Conte gets the team he wants, he's not going to be able to play with that team. He'll be on the bench every day if he did stay. He's better off going somewhere else. We need another right wing back. I like our option. I like Doherty. Doherty can be, I think, a solid backup. He could possibly be a starter if Conte, you know, is where Conte wants at the end of the day. But I think Doherty should stay. He's better option than Real, way better than Real. I think that's clear as day now. But that's one problem I do think is our wing backs, and we do need one more center midfielder. We do.
Yep.
Other than that,
we'll see what happens in the summer.
We'll see what happens. Let's get the next 8 games out of the way, and that's it. Last question: Where's top 4? Yes or no?
Hell yes.
Hell yes. We got a hell yes. Where's absolute pleasure.
Messing about.
Absolute pleasure having you on and giving that hell yes. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir, and come on, you Spurs.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
Come on, you Spurs. Let's go.
Brilliant. So that's 3 out of 3.
3 out of 3.
3 out of 3.
I think we're going to have a full house, don't you?
I think so.
Unless
does that mean that we have to start believing as well?
I believe.
Does that mean I have to start believing?
Yes, you have
as well?
to start believing.
I see.
Yes,
okay.
well,
We'll do a poll of me afterwards.
Okay.
So another wonderful guest coming on. Michael's with us. Welcome, Michael. How are you, sir? How are you feeling after that? How are you feeling after that demolition of Aston Villa?
Yes, hello, lads. So I spoke with you yesterday, Rez, and I said that I'm not feeling well. And well, it turns out, wait a second, turns out I have COVID. And honestly,
we're sorry you have COVID.
No, don't worry about it. But I've been feeling a bit shitty for the past 24 hours, but I didn't know I have 3 doctor appointments today, unplanned. And I had Dr. Arsenal, Dr. United, and then Dr. Tottenham. This time with good news.
Fantastic.
I was thinking if I should come on, but I just couldn't miss the opportunity to come with such circumstances, and you know, just brilliant. Honestly, I was scared shitless during the first half. Not gonna lie, but you know, in my eyes. A statement victory, I think, because, you know, not even with the context of United and Arsenal losing today, but, you know, we resisted pressure well. We were compact. We played together. We were working together in defense and in attack, and we just outplayed them. I think mentally and physically. At least I felt like. Villa burned a lot of energy during the first half, and they were gone in the second half, and we just caught them on the break 3 times, and you know, just brilliant work by Conte and by our team, and you know, just not much more words to be said about this. I'm really surprised and I'm really happy.
Just a question for you, Michael. Who in your mind was not the man of the match, but the sort of key player for us today? Who was it that you felt turned the game for us most, if you had to pick one?
Yeah, by the way, sorry for snorting and coughing.
No, please, snort away, old chap. It's absolutely fine.
So, well, in terms of man of the match for me, even though Sonny scored a hat-trick, Lloris...
Not man of the match, the most influential player.
So the most influential, I'm just in love with Kulusevski, and I think like a lot of things were coming through him, and he was really dangerous when Kane was well covered in the middle. At least I feel like in the first half and at the beginning of the second half, Villa had Kane covered quite well, and we used our wings really well to create dangerous opportunities. But I just have to pick up Lloris for this game. Like he majorly saved our ass in the first half, and without him there, I feel like this game could have been one of those games where we conceded 1 or 2 goals in the first half and didn't pick ourselves up, like similarly to Wolves earlier in this year. Where because of Lloris's mistakes, we conceded 2 goals and we never picked ourselves up, because in that situation Villa would just bunker themselves like 11 men behind the ball, and we couldn't probably do much in that situation. But really resilient performance by our defensive players and offensive players too, because they were heavily involved in defense today.
Just to interrupt you very quickly, we've got a super chat here from Wolves F1. Spurs 4th is GTD? Going to do? No, that doesn't work.
I don't know.
70 points. That means 4 wins, 1 draw. Last 7 should be doable. That fixture list right now looking even. Spurs could be favourites at Anfield,
Oh my God.
apparently. So Wolves F1 is either incredibly generous or is trying to jinx us. What do you think, Michael? Do you think we can go to Anfield and get a result?
So basically, I've been a fan for like 3.5 years, and I've been scarred many times by our team. So I don't want to get too cocky.
You're a baby, Michael. We've been fans for years. The scarring it's all scarring.
Grey hairs, the no hair.
The no hair, yeah. But Anfield, what do you think?
I think we can put up a good fight with Liverpool, and if they aren't on their day, then we can probably nick something there, 1 or 3 points even. But as I said, let's not get too cocky with ourselves, and we just. I'm saying this pretty much every calling I do, but we have to take it game by game. Just
sound like me, Michael. Game by game, game by game,
yes,
game by game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it might get a bit boring.
Even with 1 game left, Nick will be saying game by game.
Well, no, of course, if we are like 6 points clear with 1 game to go, then of course, I'm gonna be buzzing and running around the room and being all happy and stuff. But I'm just really amazed by this team, and I seriously watching them once a week is pretty much the highlight of the week, and I'm just really happy. And by the way, I do raise this question: when do we start calling like woolwitchy things that teams that don't do well? Because there is this term Spursy, but to be honest, Arsenal have been. Woolwich.
Oh, Woolwichy. Oh, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Or Bumminally, as I would think. I think it's a good question, because the whole thing about the Spursy tag is this idea that Spurs get to a point where they're just on the cusp of something and then they throw it away. I think Arsenal aren't even good enough to be on the cusp of something, if I'm being honest. They fell into that 4th place position, in my view, by getting a few sort of expected results against some lower level opposition. They've not really faced a challenge this season. When they have, they've thrown it away without having an opportunity waiting for them. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think that Arsenal have played a game this season, Michael, where they've deserved more than they've got?
So, well, the way I look at it is that if we were more solid this year, we would have had that 4th spot wrapped up already. Because, there were plenty of matches where we came out losing, where we probably should have gotten more. Like, Sutton 1-1 comes to mind, Burnley 1-0. Plenty of matches that we probably should have gotten more from. And in those situations when we were dropping points, Arsenal was getting them, and credit to them, because it doesn't matter how you win, it matters that you win, because nobody else will ask about how you won. Is the fourth place is what matters. True. But I just felt like it was coming for them. This a bit of that they were maybe like a colossus on tiny legs, let's say. So 1 or 2 injuries and they fell apart pretty much. And I think that they will struggle against Tottenham in the next fixture. And what else to say? Fuck him, basically.
Basically, Arsenal fans, if you're watching, Michael has a message for you. Fuck him. Yeah. Michael, I've asked everyone else. We're 3 out of 3, no pressure here, but top 4, yes or no?
Well, if we play like
no. Yes,
okay.
Yes or no. Not well. Yes or no.
Yes, of course.
Yes, brilliant, wonderful.
It's in our
hands.
Michael, it's always a pleasure to have you on, mate. I hope you feel better. I really do. Plenty of water and rest. And look, we got 6 days till the next game, so we don't need to worry about that. So,
see you guys around, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Nice one, Michael. We've got a little super chat here from Rambro. Captain Lloris, we salute you. I agree. I think we should salute Captain Lloris.
I think for the next guest, we just need to bring that out.
Before we do that, let's salute Captain Lloris. And the next guest, this should really tell you who it is. It is the great Iggy from Tottenham Away. Welcome, Iggy. He's saluting Captain Lloris. You're on mute, mate.
You're on mute. Schoolboy error, Iggy.
Oh, salute, Lloris. Everybody's got to salute him.
Salute in the chat, guys. Are you saluting in the chat?
Shelfside boys, how are we? Brilliant debut,
mate.
guys. What a match to the debut, huh?
Absolutely. It was wonderful. That was wonderful. How did you find
guys,
it, though?
It was great watching you. It was great watching you guys. It was great listening to. Better than them sods at Sky Sports. Absolute useless. Absolute useless on the telly. Do you know what? At the end of the game, instead of praising Spurs, instead of bigging them up for that performance, especially that second half performance, what do? They're talking about Gerrard and how unlucky Villa were in the first half. The usual blah, blah, blah. Not one little bit of praise. I had to switch them off and I had to come over to you lot again and say, let me listen to what these bottles have got to say in the post-match. These were awful. Disgrace, Sky Sports. Disgrace. The whole commentary throughout was a disgrace.
Yeah.
Even more disgraceful than the referee's performance. Terrible, by the way.
Talk to us about that. Tell us what you feel about the referees' rules, because I was, to be honest, I'm gonna be harsh. I was disgusted with Graham Scott today.
It was terrible. Some of them challenges that were flying in. Yeah, you know what? I don't mind a good fully loaded tackles. I really don't. I like them 50-50s, but they've got to be 50-50s. They can't be 70-30s, smashing players on the floor and letting it get away with and say, oh, we're playing advantage. What are you talking about? The players on the floor.
Yeah.
And then it took one little barge from Romero to send Digne packing with his shoulder out of his socket. Shocking, mate. Shocking. Like the whole game through it. I was really, really worried, boys, when I saw Harry Kane go down and touching his ankles. I thought, please, God, not now. Because I've always said, when we've chatted many times, boys, and we've said we are heavily relying on nobody, and I mean not losing a single player for the remaining games of this season, because I think our season completely rides on that. And I'm pleased that hopefully Matt Doherty, we haven't lost him for too long, and everybody else is fine, because that's all I care about right now, that everybody's okay for the next one. But listen, guys, I'm actually a little bit more, believe it or not, I'm actually more calmer now than I was in a post-match. Honestly, I uploaded a post-match on our Tottenham Away channel, and I was absolutely Imagine me eating 20 of those packets on the tellers. That's where I was. I was in full trajectory, super duper hyper. So you guys
have the neighbours
honestly,
called the police?
Yeah.
I always said, Iggy, never upload a post match
After eating
channel,
Nutella biscuits.
After Nutella biscuits, and certainly after Spurs winning in such a way. We absolutely run riot in that second half. But I will say this, boys, where I've been critical of Lloris, where I was after the Newcastle game, and you boys know that.
Yep.
I have to say, do you know what? Salute Lloris today, because that first half performance, honestly, he bailed us out. Romero was putting some fires out tonight. This guy brought some he put some real fires out today.
Do you think,
brilliant,
Iggy,
brilliant.
Do you think if one or two of them chances had gone in, and that we would have been able to come back in that second half? Like, you know, I mean, I know it's ifs, buts, and maybes, but
it was 7 saves. He made 7 really top chance saves. You know, even if a couple had gone in, you know, we would have been 2-1 down.
Do you know what? There's many times where Sonny has bailed us out. There's many times where Kane has bailed us out. Today, our keeper bails us out. Because to win these sort of games, you need your goalkeeper. You need your goalkeeper to bail you out. And he did that today. We needed him. We needed everyone today. And he showed how much he still has to give. Yeah. For all the faults he may have, today, in no shot stopping, he was superb. Honestly, Romero was brilliant. Sonny was class. Absolute class he was. But you know what? Has to be said. Lloris stepped up today. Boy, did we need him. And you know what? And that was all dictated because the referee allowed them to do whatever they wanted to with those tackles, because otherwise there wouldn't have been any games. We had to be clever. We had to be smart. We absolutely, first 2 minutes, going ahead, scoring, getting a goal straight away. And straight away, we did exactly the same thing in the second half. Yep. And we got into them again at 2-0. I thought, you know what? We're going to run right now. We're absolutely going to run right, because they have to come forward and we're going to start picking them off. And in the end, it could have been 4-5-0, no, 6-0. It could have been more than that. And you know what? And another thing I want to say, big up the Spurs fans, because I heard them throughout the whole entire match singing away. Honestly, the Spurs fans away from home, at home they're brilliant, but away from home they are superb. Phenomenal, honestly. I heard the Gimme Gimmes, I heard Sonny's songs, I heard all of them. You could hear them through the screen. And Sky Sports, trust me, they tried to put that volume down, but even they couldn't succeed.
Yeah, they do that. They do that. So let's put Lloris aside. Let's sort of put the defence aside. What are your thoughts on our midfield, Iggy? I mean, listen, I'm not trying to denigrate them at all. I'm not going to say they played badly, but it wasn't quite that zip and verve that we've seen from Bentancur and Højbjerg over the last few games. Is it just a blip?
I think they held their own. Do you know what? The biggest thing that at the moment, we are like a plane. Let me picture. We are like a real good, solid plane, powerful, strong. We are absolutely but we are flying without wings. Let me tell you that. We are flying without wings. And what I mean by that, our wing backs are just not good enough. You can see the levels. We've got a real solid back three. We've got a real good two in the middle. And the three up front are brilliant. But they are now starting to show just how weak our wing backs are. And it's not their fault. I'm sure the guys are doing their best. I have no doubt. But you actually starting to see the levels, because everyone is up their game. And yes, maybe Bentancur and Højbjerg weren't the best, but they were getting battered in that. Højbjerg, I mean, was getting clattered left, right, and centre in that game. And then when he gave it some back, he got a yellow card for dissent because it was ridiculous, guys. I've never seen such a one way level of refereeing, and I thought, listen, it may have been not pleasing on the eye with Bentancur and Højbjerg, but they held their own in there. And let's be honest, them two in the middle were on their own, because they didn't really get a lot of support from the wing backs tucking in and stuff like that. And I thought the three at the back were brilliant, as with the keeper we mentioned, and the three up front. Second half, I mean, they were brilliant. You could see Kane would drop in the hole as soon as he would go into midfield. Sonny behind, is causing him. He knows he's got to be on the move. And whenever that happened, the Kulusevski in between that, they were brilliant. Listen, like I said, today it wasn't Bentancur and Højbjerg didn't need to be brilliant. They needed to be solid. They needed to protect the three. And they did that in a brilliant fashion. I still think they were really good, even though they wasn't as brilliant as they always are. But they were still really, really solid, man. They were put in a really big shift.
So Sonny gets his hat trick, and I
Brilliant.
asked this.
It was brilliant today. Fantastic.
Well, I asked this earlier. Out of Son and Kane, if you had to pick one, who do you think is more likely? Oh, who would you think out of Son and Kane is going to end up as Spurs' top goal scorer with 7 games to go?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. That's a terrible question, boys. Listen, for Bobby, I say this for Bob Spur. I hope Kane gets it because he's got a bet on it.
That's true, he does.
But right now, if Sonny is hitting real top form, I mean, he is scoring on the real regular. Listen, do you know what? Who cares? Yeah. Who cares? As long as we get top 4, who cares?
Yes, Iggy, yes, I'm loving it. Just for interest. He's going, no, Rez, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to decide what I want to do.
Rez, what matters is Kane and Son do everything possible in their power to make sure that we finish top 4. That's the only thing that matters.
Just the only reason I ask that is only because Sonny has overtaken his own record when it comes to goals. And he's never won a golden boot while Kane has been there. So it's just just seeing whether or not Sonny can do it.
Okay, all right. You know what? Push comes to shove. All right, let's do it. Sonny's gonna be Spurs' top scorer. Sonny will, because I just think with the movement, because I'll tell you why, because Conte wants Kane to be dropping into that midfield area, and there's a clear sign that when he makes that move, Sonny has to attack the space that Kane leaves behind. So for that reason, I think he's going to be a lot more favourable in the chances that he gets a goal. And let's have it right. Sonny, in the last few games, he is clinical in front of goal. He's been brilliant, and he will keep on scoring. I think he will score more goals than Kane.
The follow-up question is, do you think he can get the golden boot this season? Do you think he can end up as the Premier League top goal scorer?
I know he can get it.
Fantastic.
I know he can get
Iggy.
it.
Fantastic.
I know.
Iggy.
No two ways about that.
Iggy, final question. I know where you're going. Top 4, yes or no?
Come on, man. Are you serious? You didn't ask me that question. Listen, I'll tell you something else. We will have top 4 wrapped up even before the North London derby.
Yes.
Straight.
Good man.
Loving that, Iggy.
Facts.
Brilliant.
And we're gonna let them come to our stadium. We're gonna let them see the lights. We're gonna let them see the fans waiting for them, and we're gonna kick them back out of the stadium and say, "Go back to South London, and don't ever come back here again."
Yes, Iggy.
Wonderful.
And I'll tell you something else, Arsenal fans. If you're watching right here, you better stay off Twitter, because Stelios will be coming for you lot. He is coming for you lot. Stay off. Go hide in the cave. Don't ever come back
Stelios
out.
is coming for you.
It's true, yeah.
Stelios will be coming for all you United fans who've given it the big one. Arsenal fans saying that Spurs are lucky. Yeah, we hear your fan shows. We're saying the Spurs are lucky with their fixtures and all of that. They're unlucky because they lost their players. Go away. Behave yourselves. In Conte we trust. In Conte we trust, because if they ask themselves the real question, if they had to have any manager right now going for the top 4 out of Moyes, Arteta or Fraud-Teta, if you want to get Fraud-Teta, Moyes, whoever else you want, you would want Conte. Be honest with yourself and say you would want Conte.
They would kill.
And I'm sorry for
Conte.
Ragnick, and I forgot him as well. Ragnick, another fraudster. Conte all the way. In Conte we trust. We're going to make top 4, and next year, we're going to be singing under the Champions League floodlights.
Brilliant,
Iggy. Absolute pleasure.
Take care,
as always,
guys.
mate.
You guys were absolutely fantastic. Shelf size boys, respect.
Thank you, Iggy.
Thanks, my
Big
friend.
up,
Take
mate.
care,
Come on,
guys.
you
All the
Spurs.
care of
best.
yourself.
And Spurs fans, in Conte we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
Conte
Come on,
we
you
trust.
Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. There's a super chat here from Don Perignon. Don, Kulu, Kane, all brilliant today. Let's keep this momentum going. Conte is truly world class. He's even made Dirty look class. Absolutely,
right.
Dom. Absolutely. Love that call from Iggy. That
So
was really cool.
we've done five polls, and all 5 believe.
Yeah. I think the next caller is wishing
I think he's believed before belief was a thing.
But I think he's believed that he's put the bet on the wrong player to be the top scorer.
Possible. It's possible.
And that's the legend that is Bob Spur TV.
Welcome, Bob. Good to see you, pal. You all right?
Yeah, good. I was just distracted by the flood alert. Oh no, it's something about Arsenal fan tears or something.
Yes, yeah.
Never mind, yeah.
No, we saw it sloshing past the windows earlier. Yeah.
Cry, baby, cry.
Yeah, I've had to order a tanker lorry of vinegar to go with the amount of salt that's going to be flooding through Twitter later, I'm sure. How are you, Bobs? How did you enjoy that game, mate?
Good. Me and Kim were smashing up everything around us. First saw the Everton game. I had football on all day. Saw the Everton game. Well played, Everton. Man United frauds. Saw the Brighton game, and I said to you, didn't I, Nick? Ranjit, Barry. It's don't underestimate the psychological effect that Palace game, the defeat, the Marrow defeat, will have on this young Arsenal side, and it showed today, man. They can't handle it. And then the pressure was on us. And I said to Iggy earlier, the pressure was on us in the second half, because I don't think there's any Spurs fan, player, manager who would have gone in at half time and thought, you know what, let's carry on doing what we're doing, because we, credit to Villa, they put us under. But yeah, the pressure was on the second half to come out and show our class. And I think I sent you a message in saying, yeah, we'll come out, we'll show our class, and we'll win comfortably. Never in doubt.
So just a question, Bob, because you put a bet on.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask you, who's going to be Spurs' top goal scorer this season?
The question is, can I afford to waste fucking £5? That's £5 that should have gone on Sonny. Sonny all the way, man.
It's phenomenal. I mean, look, he's on 18 goals. The most that he's ever scored before in a season has been 14. So he's well above what he scored before. Can he carry this on? Is this something that are we going to basically? Is he going to be our scorer now for the rest of this season? Do you think?
3 reasons: Decky, Kane, and Sonny himself. The confidence that he's showing. When he went through, I shouted 3-0 to Kim even before he took his first touch through. He knew he was going to score. And plus Salah's gone. His contract talks. He misses chances. That miss in the final against Senegal is haunting, I believe. Plus he doesn't start every single game. So yeah, I think Sonny's putting a 5. I don't know what the odds are. Probably 6 or 5s. But and the fact we're scoring goals. We're as a team, we're smashing teams.
Yeah.
Expecting nothing less. As I said. 4-1's normally my scoreline, but I said I expect minimum of three goals today. And yeah, it was a case of regrouping at half time and showing our class, and we did exactly that.
And just before I get to another question, just very quickly, do you think he can win the Golden Boot in that case? Do you 100%. Think it's going to be Sonny?
100%. Like I say, it's not only the Sonny effect; it's the Salah effect as well. Like I say, I think there's something there that's not there right now. Like I say, he misses chances. He's not as clinical. If Salah was going through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper and Sonny was, you'd put money on Sonny.
Yeah, absolutely.
To score than Salah, because he's got a sitter missing him. Salah has.
So the surprising thing, I mean, you look at our goal difference right now. It's plus 19.
Yeah.
I think it was only 6 games ago we were in negative figures.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by just how many goals we're scoring at the moment?
You know what I'm like. I've always said, yeah, we'll win. 7 wins out of 9. We're smashing teams. But come on, I don't think if anyone sat here and said, we'd be top goal scorers in 2022, 32, it would have scored 7 more than Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah. So and scoring 5s and 4s. It's like FIFA on it is. It's FIFA on easy mode.
I
isn't
got
it?
beaten earlier
Beginner's
on
mode.
FIFA 7-4 by my
Houseplant.
by my houseplant, no, by my stepson. So yeah, it's just insane. It felt like that.
I got beat 3-0 by Brentford, but we're not going to talk about
Oh
that.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we're playing on beginner's mode, isn't it, on FIFA? So am I surprised that Conte's turned it around? No, because in beginning of February, I was on meds, but I did say via Twitter that I expect us to finish 4th with the players we have there and with the manager we have there. But did I expect us to be smashing teams the way we are so easily? And I think Sim mentioned on here last week or a few days ago, the last 20 minutes are a non-event because we're comfortable by then, and a few goals towards the end is a bonus. It's comfortable, man, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be smashing the next 3, not only winning but smashing the next 3 teams. And that's a run, Brian. I know you're listening.
Do you think in that case we're going to demonstrate to the world how a North London team should deal with Brighton next week?
Yeah. I mean, the South London team didn't do very well, so I think it's about time the North London side will. Yeah, again, let's be honest, Arsenal were shit today because it is affecting them. They are crumbling. They're mentally gone. They're bottling it, and we'll just show Brighton how football should be played and how the opposition should win. Again, I expect nothing less than 3 goals against Brighton. I expect a 4-1 win.
Amazing stuff. So about the game today.
Yeah.
What was your personal highlight, Bob? What did you enjoy most about that game? If you had to pick out one moment, what would it have been?
I think, and rightly so, Hugo's getting a lot of praise. But I was talking to Iggy earlier. Every top 4 team has a good goalkeeper, and every top 4 goalkeeper needs to perform when needed. When we weren't at our best in the first half, but again, I do need to give credit. We need to give credit to Villa, the way they pressed, were very physical. We need our number 1 goalkeeper to turn up, and he did exactly what's in his job description. He's there to save goals from going in, and he did exactly that. But apart from that first one, when what's the youngster's name? Ramsey, is it or no?
Yeah, Ramsey, Jacob Ramsey.
Yeah. That was a great save. But the rest, I kind of expect him to save the long ranger from McGinn, and Cash had a volley, and then they missed a couple of sitters. But then we've got the quality, and that's why we are beating teams, we're smashing teams, and that's the reason why we're fourth. So
is it a case of they were shots that you expect Lloris to save, or just any goalkeeper to save?
Lloris to save. I expect a top 4 goalkeeper to save.
Right, understood.
And we're a top 4 side at the moment. So Hugo did what Hugo's job is. Like I say, that first save with his right hand was absolutely brilliant, and the rest was his job. And any top 4 team needs a good, solid goalkeeper, and we had that today in abundance, and he played like a captain. So good on Hugo. But second half, like I say, and I keep on saying this, it's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about our momentum. It's all about our class. It's all about our front 3. It's all about our back 3 who got tested in that first half. But
how do you think they accounted for themselves, that back 3 today?
Emerson still worries me. I know he's not part of the back 3, but Emerson still worries me. The fact that I'm not sure how serious Doherty's injury is, but if it is long term, the fact that Emerson has to play right wing back does worry me. Back 3, I think it's good that they finally got tested. They regrouped, didn't they, in the second half? And both Hugo and Conte said in the post match interviews that they had words about that. They knew the best thing to come out of that was both Hugo and Conte coming out after the game saying, you know what, we didn't like the first half. We're winning, but they both admitted, no, it wasn't good enough in the first half, so we changed it. And that's great. That's great. The fact we have a manager who can see there's rather than come out with, they didn't have that many chances, or Hugo was comfortable. No, he wasn't happy with it. And I think by reading between the lines, he did lay into him in the half time. But yeah, it was a simple way to sort it out. The midfield just moved closer to the back. There was so much space between the back three and Bentancur and Højbjerg. They just became a bit more closer. The Sonny and Decky held their wide position a bit more, and Kane did what Kane does. So it was good, and I think it was good that they got tested in the first half, because we saw how they solidified after half time, and that's absolutely fantastic, and onwards and upwards.
Brilliant. I don't think we need to ask the final question, because we know the answer, but we're going to ask anyway. Go on, Nick.
Top 4, yes or no, Bob?
Piss off, mate.
Yes! Loving that. Bobby, great to have you on, mate. Guys, we're probably going to get shifted off Match of the Day for, the Gooners tonight, first up. So head over to Bob's Spur TV on In the Wall tonight at 10:30.
Yeah, and I'll see you there, Rez.
You will.
Yeah, 10:50 tonight in the Wall.
Do tune in. And bring some conspiracy theories.
Oh yes, definitely. 100%.
Thanks very much.
Love you guys. Absolutely fantastic. You were absolutely great today.
Real pleasure. Thank you, mate. That's very kind of you to say.
Take care of yourself. Studio.
Brilliant. So that's now 6 out of 6.
Are you wavering any?
No.
Wait?
No.
I didn't realise I was doing this watch along with Stelios.
No.
Oh,
we'll
God.
come to that. We'll come to that.
Who is this in the back room?
I don't know. I get the feeling that this is going to be a rather phenomenal guest. I don't know why. I've never seen them before, but I just have this
I'm
feeling.
keeping his seat warm. That's what he's told me.
Is that what's happening? So
That's
you know
what he's
this
told me.
person.
I know this person. You know this person.
Everyone knows this person.
It's Mr. Brian Daigle in the house.
Brian Daigle. Hello, buddy. How you doing? You're on mute.
Bloody hell, he's on mute, is he? Are you on mute?
I apologise. I'm absolutely battered. God, how are you boys and everyone in the chat?
We're good, mate. We're good.
We're good after that.
Very good.
After that result.
We've
really
got a
good.
9-0 aggregate for Shelfside Spurs on the watch along.
That's true.
So,
that's true. Yeah,
we're very good. So.
And how are you? I understand that you watched the game at the Scotland Yard, a very famous pub for you Torontons who've not been there, and any non-Canadians who fancy visiting Toronto and are Spurs fans, go to the Scotland Yard pub. It's worth it.
It was brilliant. Let me just, before we go anywhere, let me just say thank you, Everton. Thank you. I got to watch the whole second half, and I'll tell you what, that second goal they scored was a thing of beauty. And then we got to see what we got to see. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what Antonio Conte's saying at half time, but in the second half, we're coming out like a pack of lions that haven't eaten for a month. It's like, there you go. That second half and the style of football was absolutely outstanding. Outstanding football. And I just want to say to my brother Bob Spur, aka Superman, 4 games out of 4 is a run. So yeah, definitely on a run.
In terms of that second half, Brian, was that better than Newcastle?
Do you know what? It's so hard to say. I think some of the football, especially that team goal for Son's goal, was just an absolute thing of beauty. I really think it was. I mean, Aston Villa gave us more of a fight than Newcastle did in the second half, and for that I would say, yeah, it probably just does edge it. But I tell you what, Hugo Lloris in that first half was the reason we could go and win it in the second half. He was sensational in that first half.
In terms of our wing backs, mate, what's your thinking now with, I mean, obviously we don't know the extent of any potential injury or stuff or anything to Matt Doherty. With him going off so early, are you worried about our wing back situation?
Do you know, first of all, how Spursy is it that Matt Doherty finds a purple patch of form and we're all waxing lyrical about him, and then wallop, there you go, injured.
Yep.
Let's just hope it's not a long-term injury. Listen, the wing-backs did what they had to do today. They did what they had to do. Romero didn't get booked again, which is phenomenal. And yeah, the wing backs, the last 2 games, they've done what they had to do. So yeah, I mean, Emerson, I don't think again was covered himself in glory, but again, he did what he had to do. So listen, it's a 4-0 win. It's now 10 goals ahead of the filth. Things don't get much better, do they? Things do not get much better. But the wing backs, yeah, I'm not too concerned right now.
Excellent. Front 3. Sonny obviously gets a hat-trick. Kane, the architect of a number of them. You mentioned that team move. Do you see more cohesion in this team? Do you see them? I mean, a lot of the things that has been said sort of throughout the fan base over the last few weeks is talk of cohesion. Do they look more cohesive? Do they look more together to you? And what do you think is causing that? If it's there, what's bringing them all together, do you think?
Do you know what? I said it on WeAreTottenhamTV yesterday, I believe. The front 3 are electric. The back 3 have become a rock. The 2 in midfield are playing out of their skin. And I have to say, today, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was fantastic. From start to finish. Out of the 2, I think he outshone Bentancur today by a country mile in both defending and going forward. I thought it was sensational today. That front 3, like I said, after Newcastle, in what we've got here to zone, you had Shearer and Les Ferdinand talking about the front 3, and they said, you know what, right now, I don't think there's a front 3 in Europe. You'd fear more. They are something else. And we were all saying Kulusevski needs to add goals to his game. There you go. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. There it was. Those 3, the way they've settled in and the understanding they've got is quite frightening how quick that's worked. But Kane, again, the architect. Son today, and I can see Son's number 1 fan in the back end. And you know what? Rightfully so. And do you know what? I've been speaking to Will about Son and how I think the few games before Newcastle that I thought he'd been off the pace. Boy, he shut me up today. He shut me up. Son was absolutely electric. The thing I didn't like with Kane near the end is you could see Aston Villa were just trying to hack him down at any expense. I would have taken him off like after 80th minute and the first tackle when you saw him limping with his ankle. I'd have been like, off you go, rest, relax, recuperate. But today, Son deserves all the plaudits. Son was fantastic, and rightfully so. And let's just hope it stays like this. I mean, right now, we look unstoppable. And long may this continue. And as I said, I'm going to put my hands up just before people go, oh, Brian said top 4 was done. Oh, Brian was... Listen, I can make a mistake. I'm human.
Of course.
I did not see it. Do I see top 4 on? 1 billion %. Was I wrong? 1 billion %. So, yeah, mate, it's on. It's more than on. It's more than on. Thank God.
I want to get your read on something else. So you talked about Kane being hacked down. I mean, that Ashley Young tackle was a thing of utter barbarity in my view, just really out of order. Do you think that Graham Scott was... I mean, how do you think? The answer is how bad was Graham Scott today in your view?
So, do you know what? It was so much madness in the Scotland Yard today, and I've put videos everywhere and whatever. I didn't really... When the decisions, obviously, we were all up in the boat going, yeah, bastard, blah, 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 blah. So but do you know what? They talk about sometimes how the England captain or these big players get protected a little bit more than other players because of who they are. There was nothing on Harry Kane. I mean, these tackles were going in thick and fast. The Ashley Young one's a disgrace. But do you know what it is? He's nutmegging people like he's Dele Alli in his prime.
Yeah.
He's taking piss all over the pitch, and people getting frustrated. And those tackles, especially when it's on his ankle, and everyone knows about his ankle injuries, and that's like the problem area. There was no protection for him. The Ashley Young tackle is a disgrace, absolute disgrace, and I don't know why. I think he did get booked for it, didn't he? He did get a yellow.
He got a yellow.
Yeah,
he got a yellow.
But he then went back. But then Ashley Young then went back and said, "Why are you booking me? That wasn't a foul," and all of this nonsense. You know.
Yeah.
No, well, actually, some more bird shit. Let him do that and carry on. He's very good at that. He can swallow bird shit well, but he talks a lot of shit. So listen, Ashley Young, you're a disgrace. You lost 4-0, and deal with it. Deal with it. What a stunning performance.
I mean, speaking of Kane as well. I mean, look, let's put Bummenall fans aside, right? How can anyone deny that Harry Kane is one of the best players of his generation, if not ever? One of. I'm not saying he's the best, but certainly one of the best. How can anyone deny that?
Well, right now for me, Harry Kane in 2022 is the best player in the world. Period. Period. People will know very critical of him season. Very, very critical, and I believe rightly so. But since November, boy, has he come back. And do you know what? He's added more. Just when you think he can't add more to his game, he's added the drop in very, very deep and commanding the game. We all know he drops off being the main centre forward and into that little pocket between defence and midfield. Now he's dropping back into our own half and doing things. But now he's added dribbling to his game. When has he been? Like, just when you think, do you know what? There's nothing more this man can add to his game. You're like, do you know what? Hold my beer. Let me just go and do this. I'm going to show you something else. He's just incredible. For me right now, I always say the biggest regret I have as a Spurs fan was I never got to see Gareth Bale live. And the reason I didn't get to see Gareth Bale come live is because when I was back there, that's when I was at the height of my addictions and all my money went on that. But you know what? I can sit back and say I've had the blessing, the privilege, the honour of watching that man live on many, many occasions, because you ain't going to see many like him that could be a 10, a 9, an 8, a 6, or whatever. It's like that song 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? That's all. It's all Harry Kane's positions. It's literally outstanding what this man is doing, and long may it continue. And he's just on fire. He's just on fire, and I just cannot see anything else than a top 4 finish now. For me, it's if we can just get a win against Brighton next week, which I think we will. I think this is going to be well and truly sewn up before the 5th game anyway.
So it sort of dispenses with your final question, Nick, but you should ask it anyway.
Top 4, yes or no, Brian?
In the words of Stone Cold Austin, oh, hell, yes.
It's always a privilege to have you on, Brian. Thank you very much for calling in, mate. Any final words before you go?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not dignifying that prick with my final words today because he doesn't deserve it. All I will say, you did an absolutely phenomenal job. Absolutely incredible.
It's very kind of you, mate.
It's just, come on, you Spurs. Let's keep this going.
Thank you, Brian.
Peace
really
out.
Appreciate
Everyone.
that, mate.
Love you, ta-da, guys.
Cheers, pal. Thanks very much for coming on. Take care. Just very quickly before we carry on, Jack Doherty has joined, so welcome to Gold, Jack. Gold
He is
member.
gold.
He is gold.
Gold.
Always believe in your soul. So Jack is now gold. And thank you again to Brian. Thank you to everyone in the chat as well. You know, big up to you guys. Seriously, it wouldn't be a channel without you guys talking. It's wonderful to have you on. And speaking of We Are Tottenham TV members, we have a member coming on now who was very active in the chat today. It's Brandon Troller. Welcome, Brandon. Good to see you, man. How are you? You're on mute as well. There we go. How are you, sir?
I'm flying over the moon right now, feeling fantastic.
I'll bet you are. Talk to us. Come on. How did you find it? You know, what was good for you? What made you bounce on the ceiling? What was it?
I hate to start it off on a negative note, but I think it's got to be talked about. There's this top 6 bias that people always talk about when it comes to VAR or refereeing decisions, whatever. No, it's a 5-team bias. It's top 6 minus Tottenham. It's you know, if you think about it, this might be a conspiracy. I don't know, but commercially, is Tottenham as big of a club as Man United and Arsenal? Is it going to make as much money for the Premier League if they have that stature of being in the Champions League? Probably not. Does it mean that they should be trying to allow our star players to be injured so we could maybe throw away our chances? Hell no. That's ridiculous. This is insanity. I mean, watching that, it was a disgrace. It was a farce of everyone involved in the officiating crew today should be ashamed of themselves. There should have been a solid 5-6 yellow cards at the bare minimum. I mean, the referee should have at least made a modicum of an attempt to try and get that under control. And it just,
in your view, Brandon, is it big club bias or incompetence or both when it comes to English officiating? Because I mean, I've spoken at length on channels about how bad I think that the refereeing is and the level of refereeing in this country is, and I have a lot of disdain for the sort of organisations and the authorities who run it. But in your view, is it deliberate? Is it a case of they just don't know what they're doing, or is it a mixture of the two, that there's a bit of, you know, incompetence and them sort of being more lenient or being more favoured towards those bigger clubs?
I think they're more lenient, more favoured to the red clubs, whether it's Liverpool, Liverpool, Man United.
Checking club badge.
I think Chelsea's not going to be getting any favors anytime soon due to their current predicament. But then, it just boggles my mind, because you see this week in, week out, these poor, beyond poor officiating decisions supposedly made by the cream of the crop, the top referees in the world. You're having a laugh. I mean, it's lunacy. You don't see this level of incompetence over in Germany or over in Italy, or over in Spain. I mean, sure. Is there the decision here or there that goes a little wonky? Sure, yeah, but every week, if it's not Tottenham, it's another club. It's at least once, and it's. I think there's just such an inconsistency and what the landscape of the rule book is right now. I mean, because of all this change, this flux we've been having, this influx of VAR, slight alterations. I mean, look, I saw a report the other day, they're trying to maybe change matches to 60 minutes. What are they doing? Leave the beautiful game alone. There was a reason that it's the most popular sport in the history of humanity. I mean, people love this. It's if you're gonna set a standard where it's okay, you can go ahead and make a rash challenge and not be booked for it. Great. I think everyone would love that. But then you can't go turn around and give Højbjerg a yellow for tapping somebody's shoulder. Yeah. I mean, it's lunacy. It's absolute. It's Looney Tunes land. I can't have it anymore. I mean, I could go on about it forever. I'm sure other people will. But it's something needs to change, and it's just an unfortunate situation. And we're lucky to have only come out of that match potentially one man down, because they were coming after us. And Steven Gerrard should be a little ashamed of himself too. I mean, when you've got a team going after you, your players like that.
Yeah, they got 2 yellow cards in the whole game. I mean, that's just unbelievable. You know, just ridiculous.
It's nonsensical. But anyway.
To the positives. Give us a positive.
What a beautiful man we have. This Antonio Conte. Oh, I love him. I love him so much. He is. Let me tell you. So Antonio Conte, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. He is my God. He is all. We are his children. We are suckling on the teat of Antonio Conte. We are so lucky as to have him back for another year as this beautiful mother of our wonderful football club. Because let me tell you, Antonio Conte knows what he's doing. It's beautiful to watch. It's such a breath of fresh air. It's none of this, pep tiki taka whatever nonsense. It is pure. Po. Attack. Defense. It's 100 one way or 100 the other way. There's almost in the buildup. It just happens. The spaces. I don't know how they come about, but they're there, and we now have the players to exploit them. It's barring Emerson, but it's beautiful. And it is such a joy to watch. We've suffered ever since Poch left. We as Spurs fans have suffered through some brutal football. I mean, even when we were, some people at least were a little ecstatic about Mourinho coming in, it was just brutal to watch even when we were winning. And now, like, our players just seem to be enjoying themselves because they're playing in systems where they can actually run with the ball. They know they're going to be open. I mean, Harry Kane, I think, deserves every single plaudit he is getting right now. Because let me tell you, this man is shaping his career so that he can be a magisterial playmaker well into his late 30s. I mean, the guy could turn into a Xavi if he wants later on in his career. You know,
is he not there yet? Is he not at that point where he is essentially, you know, as you describe it, a magisterial player? I mean, surely, how many other players could people name as being better, you know, of greater ability, technical ability than Harry Kane right now? I mean, can you think of any, Brandon?
Strikers of technical ability?
No, just technical ability in general, let's say. Let's
general,
widen the field.
In general, at least in the Prem, I think it's De Bruyne and Harry Kane and everyone else.
Right.
There's not real competition. I mean, look, Messi back in his heyday, of course, is, you know, he's an alien, but it's the type of thing where you're watching the evolution of one of the greatest players, and mark my words, a guy who is staking a claim to become the greatest player of the Premier League era of all. It's such a special thing that we as Tottenham fans have gotten to watch and to bear witness to, because, you know, you asked the question earlier, oh, who's going to win, Son or Kane to be the top goal scorer? It's going to be Son, 100%, because Kane doesn't have Son to feed him, you know, like Son has Kane to feed him. He's making everyone around him so much better. I mean, the spaces that are being created are because you have to go and you have to put at least one, usually 2 or 3 guys on Kane, because he's got such a cannon in both feet. I mean, it's a nightmare, you know. And if you don't have top class, absolute world class defenders, I don't see how you stop our attack right now. I mean, it just, even against Man City, it's craziness. It's I think that we are genuinely 3, maybe 4 players away from being able to stake a genuine title challenge next season, and it is wonderful. It is, and that might be wishful thinking, and we need to focus on getting top 4 first, of course. But I think that's already in the bag. Which 4 positions, or which positions do you see those 4 players being needed in? Yeah. So first off, Hugo Lloris was fantastic today, but we need a long-term solution for that goalkeeping position. I think that is of paramount importance for us to address this summer. Y'all probably have never heard of him, but this guy, Gabriel Slonina, right? Slonina.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
You've heard of him? So Chelsea...
No, I'm only joking.
So Chelsea had actually agreed to buy him a month or so back, but then the whole, you know, situation came about, and so that's now in the mud. But this guy is he's 18 years old, and he's the best goalkeeper in the MLS. And I know it's the MLS, whatever. Look at Alphonso Davies. He came out of that. I mean, there are some gems that are starting to come out. It's becoming like a tiny little feeder league to Europe, and this guy is I've been watching him. He is unbelievable. 18 years old. Buy him. Seriously, there's a reason Chelsea went out and bought him. This guy is going to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world one day, and I'll stake a claim to that. That sounds like nonsense because
Brandon, look.
Brandon,
he's fantastic. At 9:43 UK time, we'll remember this on the.
We'll record it for posterity
in April. So yeah, Brandon, quickly to wrap up. Top 4, yes or no?
Top 4, yes.
Brilliant.
Superb.
Brandon, it's a pleasure. Love your energy, mate. Love your energy.
Really do.
Go and enjoy the rest of your day, and come on, you Spurs.
Thanks very much, Brandon.
Fantastic.
Take care, mate. So that's how many? 8 out of 8, is it?
I've lost count, mate.
It's all of them.
About the amount of goals we scored in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I think,
there's been no one who said no. I'm still not believing.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
It's just to piss you off, Nick.
I know.
Next guest, it is Rambro. Welcome, Rambro. How are you, sir? Can you hear us, buddy?
Rambro, are you there? You on mute?
Hello.
Hiya.
Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Hold on. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Rambro.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Have you got the close the other window?
Hold on. I've got the back end on and I've got the front end on. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hold on. I've got the back end on and I've got the front end on.
There we go. Uh-oh.
He's gone.
Oh.
He's closed his window. Oh dear.
I'm sure we'll get him back.
We haven't got any music, have we? This guy, we need his intro for this guy.
We haven't got any music. But
I think he's going to come on and talk about a certain player, but I'm not sure.
I'm guessing that he's going to come on and talk about Bentancur.
You think?
No.
No, I don't think so either.
It's the official American Sun fan club, basically.
The number one, no, worldwide.
Worldwide now?
Worldwide fan club.
World
yes.
one. Please welcome Mr. Will Stewart.
I can bring my intro music with me. I don't need you guys.
Oh, yes.
You see, don't mess with the tech of Stewart.
Yeah, sorry,
don't do it.
Sorry.
How are you, Will? Good to see you, man.
My just like Sun's goals, my intros follow me wherever I go. So.
How you doing? How did you find it, man? How you feeling? How was that match for you?
No, it's great. I just want to come in here and share a few stats with the world out here, especially the ones who doubted Sun over the last.
We never doubted that you weren't going to do that either, Will. So.
No, of course not. So let's just Sun. Most goals from open play in the Prem.
If you can't have faith in anything, have faith that Will bring stats.
That's right.
That you can have faith in.
Go on then, Will. Go on and hit us with the stats.
That's right. Most goals from open play in the Prem this season. Sun. Shortest period without scoring from open play in the Prem this season. Sun. Most clinical finisher in the Prem this season. Highest goal to shot on target ratio. Sun. Highest goals per match played from open play in the Prem this season. Sun. Outperforming his XG the most. 12-17 this season. Sun. Most key passes per 90 out of the top 5 goal scorers in the Prem. Sun. Highest number of matches scored in out of matches played since December. Sun. There you go. That's for all the purple patch. That's for all the purple patch stands out there that want to say that Sun was out of form this second half of the season. Just a little bit of facts for people out there.
Well, thanks, Will. That is all. That's all good news. Talk to us about the game.
No, I mean, the first half was crazy. It was like a WWE match. I thought I was watching WrestleMania reruns for the first half. And no, the second half, though, as soon as that second goal went in from Kulu, it killed their spirit, I think. And the rest was just a normal Tottenham match that we've seen for the last 5 or 6 weeks. And it's the amount of goals that we've scored out of the last set of appearances is just unreal. We've never been a team that's gone out and battered teams week in,
over and over again.
Yeah. It's getting kind of boring.
Well,
I know how Man City
fans feel. You're an analyzer of the game. You're an analyzer of the game. Analyze that. What has changed? What is it? I mean, if you can point to a single factor, what is it that has suddenly turned us into this destroyer of teams? You know, I mean, 4 goals this game, 5 goals the last game. What was the 4 the last game before that? 2 against Man United, 3 against Man City, 3 against Leicester. What is it that's changed that suddenly we are so prolific in front of goal and just so able to do this? What is in your view is causing that, has brought that about?
Well, I mean, first of all, I would have to say that probably the biggest deal is one, having Bentancur and Kulusevski as new signings this season. I think those 2 guys have been, not only has Kulusevski been involved in a lot of the goal and assist contributions so far this season, but he's also just where he's at. Him pulling in players, his off the ball movement and pulling in defenders gives more space to Son in behind. It also it clears the midfield out for Kane to get on the ball more when he drops deep. The fact that that defenders actually have to worry about him, right, means that they can't cheat towards Son and Kane more. And for me, that's really, and plus two, I think it's just the heart and fight. If you watch a lot of our matches that we've lost, we tend to have very low passing accuracy stats, meaning that we're giving the ball away from passes a lot. And also too, the amount of first balls that we've won is really low. And I think over this 5 to 6 match period, you'll see that we're trying to get to that first or second ball a lot more. There's a lot more heart. There's a lot more clinicalness in our passing, and that's what's leading to these killer passes when you have.
Did you see that consistently today? Was there times where it was sort of absent? Because that first half
it was absent. Yeah. And that's why we only had 44% possession, I think, in the first half, and I think they had like 7 shots on target in that first half, and we had 1, which was the goal. And but when we fixed that, right? So I think it's always been frustrating for me because I've always seen that to be a problem. Even under Jose Mourinho and Nuno, that was our biggest issue, was the being clinical in our passes. But I think Conte's really kind of drilled it into him, and he's probably gone and said it, like, you're giving the ball away too much, right? Your passes aren't connecting, right? You got to play the ball to feet. And I think they just came out second half and did that. That was the biggest change for me.
Who would you say was, in the second half, who would you say was the most effective Spurs player? The one that had the greatest impact on the result in terms of what they contributed? It didn't have to be goals, didn't have to necessarily be tackles or things. I mean, who do you think made those 3 goals happen the most, if you could name one player, if it's possible?
I mean, I don't think there really is one player, because I mean, you could say Kane because he's playing those balls into Son, or you could say the amount of chances that we had weren't that high. So the fact that Son put them all away, you could say it was Son, or you could say, Kulu adding to that with an assist himself in the second half, and a goal in the second half as well. It's like you can't really peg it down to one player up top, because not only that, but Kulu's off the ball movement as well, pulling it, occupying a center back a lot of the times in transition really helps us. Romero, defending wise, really getting stuck in and getting in on tackles. I mean, the second half, and then obviously the Reece in the first half was, was the killer of the match, and that, keeping us in it.
Cool. So I've forgotten what I was going to ask you now, actually. Sorry, mate. Do apologize. Getting on a little bit. Anything else about the game that struck you? What was your view of Lloris's performance in the first half?
I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, there's been a lot of talk, especially out on the YouTube channels lately, about is Lloris done for? After a couple of the errors that he had made in the last couple of weeks. He came out today and showed that he still got it. I mean, that's what's really good about quality players, is that even if they have 1 or 2 games where it doesn't look like they're at their best, they recover from that quickly and they don't let it get them, up here. And I think that's what's happening to Arsenal right now, is it's getting them up here, and they're young and they're not as experienced. At least the players that perform or relied on to score for them are very young, and don't have this. Whereas this isn't Son and Kane's first rodeo up top, right? They know they have to be clinical. And for me, like, the biggest thing for the match today was just the heart to continue to batter, right? A lot of times at the beginning of the season and last season as well, when we would get 1 or 2 goals ahead, we would just sit back. We would kind of relax and take it easy. And now we've got this ruthlessness that we haven't seen ever, I think. Or at least, I mean, I don't even remember us being this ruthless under Pochettino, where we continually just try to score over. I mean, Bergwijn could have had another a goal in the second half. Son could have had a 4 tonight if that one touch wouldn't have gotten away from him, and the Villa keeper not cleaned it up. So I mean, it was. I don't know. I hope it continues, man. I hope it continues because we've got the fixture run for it. So to answer your guys' normal last question, is top 4 on? Yeah, we're sitting in the driver's seat for it. I mean, I've said that for a while. I mean, run out is really important. I think people overestimate what the fixture list looks like and I mean, if you play anybody who plays FPL a lot knows that that a fixture run is probably one of the most important things you got to look at when you're planning your team. So
I think so.
I think we've got
brilliant. That's fantastic. Well, so I mean, we'll get your answer to Nick's final question already.
I think I know the answer, but top 4, yes or no, mate?
No.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you for
guys,
coming on.
head over to Will's channel
Absolutely
as well. He does some great stuff, and you can see his studio, and he's got his own music, and he'll
Will, before you go, do the close-up thing. Go on.
You want me to do the super zoom?
Yeah, go on.
Subscribe to my channel.
Superb stuff. Thank you so much, Will. Brilliant call. It was great to have him. We seem to have got him back. I think we've got him back. It's Rambro. He's returned. How are you, buddy? Have you sorted your tech out?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can, buddy. Yes, we can.
Great. Everyone's already said everything that I would have said anyway, but I just figured I'd come on and give my 0.5%. I just got back from the UK on Monday, actually.
Okay.
Stay about 10 days longer than I should have been because I got COVID.
Oh no!
But I did get to see, not in person, but I did get to see the 5-0 thrashing of Newcastle. So that was fun.
Superb.
Spurs always win when I'm home, but I live in the States now, so
okay.
I guess I need to get back more.
I think we need to crowdfund a move for Rambro. Just bring him back.
Bring him back.
Yeah. Just put him by the stadium, and we'll just win every match.
That's it.
Yeah. Job done.
Right. Just quickly on the game. First half, I give it to Villa. They did come after us, but I think, answering a question that you asked Will about who affected the second half the most.
Yeah.
I think it was Villa dropping off us that affected the second half the most.
Yeah.
They their energy levels went down, their intensity went down. And I think they purposely dropped off thinking that, hey, we charged all over them in the first half. We still didn't get a goal. So maybe we can bring them in and hit them on the break. And that didn't work, obviously.
Was that a sort of a conscious decision, or was it mentality? Could they have been scared because of the fact that they'd lost 3 before then as well, and they were feeling a little unconfident? Or was it
I think after all that went on in the first half, and they still couldn't score, I think that kind of dropped their confidence a lot, especially with the previous 3 games that they'd lost already. So yeah, I mean, us hanging in there was great, and as I said, we salute Captain Loris for keeping us in. But second half we just took it over, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, really.
What was the personal highlight? What did you particularly? Was there something that happened that you particularly enjoyed? That you thought that was wonderful?
The second Son goal where Kane nodded it onto him.
Yeah.
Where you saw Kane just take that quick look as the ball was in the air, and he's like, boom. That was great. That was great.
And what do you think against the Seagulls next week? Are we going to be able to demonstrate to pseudo North London clubs, because they're not really North London, pseudo North London clubs, how it's supposed to be done?
You've heard the story about the Seagulls, though, right?
What happens about Seagulls?
They follow the troller.
Ah, it's true. They follow the troller. Thoughts on Brighton Rambro? What do you reckon is going to happen next week?
I'm hoping that we take care of them like we did a couple of weeks or what was it, a month ago now?
About 4 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago. Yeah, I think we can. They sound like they might be up for it, but this is at our place now, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
12:30 kickoff. Yeah, next Saturday.
Oh yeah. I think we should take that. I never say stuff like that. I've been a Spurs fan since I don't even want to say how long, but I know how we can be.
In general, let's make it general before I say whether or not I do or not.
Yeah.
Is it time for Spurs fans to start believing?
Yeah, it is. It is. I almost didn't watch the game thinking I'm going to jinx them today. And then I thought, you know what? Forget that. I've got to watch. We've got to start believing, man. Yeah, definitely.
I might not have watched if I wasn't on a watch along.
I mean, we watched.
We watched because we had to.
Right.
It's like behind these TV screens in the studio, there's like these the red dots. Like, if you don't say this, or no, it's not really. I'm only joking. I don't want to. Ben Sim, sorry, I don't want to get you in trouble.
That's our invitation cancelled. Thanks, Nick. I'd like to disassociate myself from my colleague. Anything else, Rambo? Let's say Brighton. Do you think by the time it comes to the North London derby, it's going to be done anyway? Do you honestly? Because a lot of us have been saying it's been the key match, and that's what Sky and that lot seem to have wanted to sort of set
brilliant.
it up as.
Sky have set this up to be like the box office, and
it was meaningless.
Nothing.
It's a dead rubber. What do you think? Do you think we'll get there?
A little thought in the back of my head from a couple of weeks ago that we'll have it wrapped. If we're in it, we'll have it wrapped up before then. So it'll just be a game we play and we'll smash them anyway. But
yes, Rambo, loving that.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll have it wrapped. Again, we can be wishy-washy, but I think we're on the up. Definitely on the up. And fourth place, if you asked me 6 weeks ago, I'd have probably said you're mad. But now, it definitely, yeah.
Ask the question, Nick. Ask the question. Go on.
Top 4, yes or no, bro?
Top 4, yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant, Rambo. It's great to get it, Rambo. It's great to have you on. Great we got you back in.
All right, yeah.
I hope you're feeling better, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Brilliant.
Is there anyone else?
That's everyone. So again, just to wrap up, a lovely 4-0 victory. Took Aston Villa to the cleaners, really, in the end.
We did. After
emphatic.
That WrestleMania.
I think
Will summed it up perfectly. It was like watching reruns of WrestleMania.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that first half. So, yeah.
But we did it, and you guys have had your say, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. This has been the Shelfside Spurs Show version of We Are Tottenham TV and the fan show. So we'd like to extend a very large thank you to Ben and Sim for inviting us on and having
trusting us.
And trusting us, yeah. To at least have the studio and the set intact afterwards, but we managed it, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be here. We'll put in a little shameless plug, I think. Do you think we can put in a shameless plug,
Nick? You
Nick?
can do the shameless plug, then I'll ask you top 4 yes or no, and then we can wrap up.
Okay, so the shameless plug, if you guys fancy something slightly different in a Spurs stream, do search for Shelfside Spurs Show. So that's 4 words, Shelfside Spurs Show on YouTube. We're trying to grow the channel. I will be eating a very, very, very hot tortilla chip either this Thursday or the Thursday after, depending on timings, because we have hit a milestone. So we're going for the next one. I don't know what we're going to do for that one, but if you want to see a bald fat guy cry after eating a chip, you know, tune in. If you want to see us talk Tottenham, tune in. If you want to see us talking very, very strange and out of this outlandish stuff, tune in. Thursdays at 7 p.m. on YouTube. We would love to have you to come and join us. And a big thank you to Ben and Sim again for having us on We Are Tottenham TV.
Yeah, so, you know, it's been, Rez, you've been here yesterday, you've been here, you've done a watch-along before, 5-0, watch-along today, 4-0. Shelf-side Spurs are going to be asked back again, hopefully, based on the aggregate scoring that's going on, and the fact that the studio is still intact as well, which we didn't think was going to happen.
We didn't break anything at all.
And yeah, from me, it's an absolute pleasure and honour to be here. Pleasure to everyone in the chat who's joined us with the watch along in the post match show. And you know, absolute honour to be here and be here with you, Rez, as well. It's my
always a pleasure, mate.
First watch along. It's been great. I hope you all enjoyed it. So, Rez, top 4, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, guys. That's it from us. It's been a pleasure. As Ben would say, or Sim would say, like,
subscribe,
and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.